Today, we're going to break down exactly how the world's top financial minds would build $1 million fortune from absolute zero. We're talking no connections, no safety net, just a proven system.
So let's just dive right in with a huge question. Imagine this for a second. You have absolutely nothing. $0, zero network, no lucky breaks. What's the real path to your first million from there?
Because you see, that question, it's not really about financial tactics. Really answering it, forces you to change your entire identity. And today, we are going to unpack the exact mental architecture and the action system that these experts use to turn zero into real, lasting wealth.
Okay, so before we can even start, we have to redefine the target. Because honestly, most people are chasing the wrong thing entirely. Let's really get into the crucial difference between being rich and being truly wealthy. Think about it like this. Being rich, well, that often means a high income, sure, but it also comes with super high expenses and just a ton of stress. Picture the investment banker who's totally burning out. Wealthy, on the other hand, that's about security. It's that amazing point where your passive income covers all your expenses and you're finally free from that constant financial anxiety.
And this right here is the core idea. Wealth is not just a number in a bank account. It's a state of being. It's when the money you make while you're sleeping is more than what you spend while you're awake. That is the real target. That's economic freedom.
Professor Scott Galloway just puts it perfectly. He says rich is the things you see, the fancy car, the huge house. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the investments, the assets, and the security that genuinely provides peace of mind.
So with that new goal locked in, where do we start? Well, before you take any practical steps, you have to build the right foundation. And that, my friends, begins with a really fundamental shift in your financial mindset.
I mean, just look at this incredibly powerful admission from Jay Shetty. He grew up believing the story that making money was somehow tied to doing bad things. He literally thought good people are poor. Can you just imagine how a belief like that paralyzes your ability to build wealth no matter how much you have to offer?
And this leads us to a core insight from Lewis Howes. Your beliefs dictate your behaviors. It's that simple. If you subconsciously believe that wealth is evil, you will find a way to sabotage every single opportunity you get to earn it. The entire game, it really begins by rewriting these internal stories.
This is the psychological upgrade we're talking about. You have to consciously make the shift from a scarcity mindset where you're hoarding, you're taking, you're afraid there isn't enough to go around, to an abundance mindset. And that's where you operate from generosity, from gratitude, and you start seeing opportunity literally everywhere. Even when you have nothing, all the experts agree. Generosity is the gateway to abundance. All right, so once your mindset is right, you need an engine to actually generate some momentum. This is the part where you learn to turn the skills you already have into actual capital. Now, Cody Sanchez offers a perspective here that is a total game changer. Forget needing startup funds. She says if you start with skills that solve real-world problems, you don't need capital. All you need is clarity. Your ability to solve a problem for someone else, that is your true starting capital. So how do you do that? Well, it pretty much boils down to these three things. You can offer a skill that helps a business grow its revenue, one that cuts its costs, or, and this is a really big one, a skill that decreases the pain and the workload of the owner. If you can do any one of these three things, you have something incredibly valuable to offer.
Just consider this perfect real-world example. When Jay Shetty had no platform of his own, he partnered with NASDAQ to offer his guests a billboard in Times Square. Now get this, it cost him $0. But the value he offered was absolutely immense. This single act of generosity built the priceless connections that launched his entire career. He literally created value from thin air.
Okay, so you're creating value. Now you need an accelerator to scale your efforts. Because look, the first $10,000 might come from pure sweat, but the first million? That requires leverage and equity.
The financial expert Jaspreet Singh breaks down the simple mechanics with this wealth formula. You take your income, you subtract your expenses, and whatever's left over, that becomes your investments and your savings. The entire key to this game is to maximize that final number and then put it to work.
And here's exactly how you do it. Cody Sanchez calls this the expertise to equity model. First, you identify your skill. Then you find a business that needs it. But, and here's the magic, instead of just charging a fee, you negotiate for a share of the value that you create.
This is how you stop renting out your time and you start owning a piece of the machine that earns while you sleep.
So where do you build that ownership? Well, the experts all point to these core asset classes. You can buy equity in the stock market through simple things like ETFs. You can invest in income-producing real estate. You can build equity in your own business, or you can invest in other startups. This is where your money finally starts working for you.
So let's put it all together. What does the playbook for your first million actually look like? Let's synthesize everything we've just learned into a single, actionable roadmap. Here it is. Step 1, reframe your goal. Pursue wealth, which is security, not just riches. Step 2, adopt an abundance mindset that's based on generosity. 3, turn your practical skill into capital by solving problems for people. 4, convert that value into equity and ownership. And finally, step 5, invest consistently and automatically, no matter how small you start.
The key takeaway from all of this is this: $1 million isn't just a number you hit one day. It is the natural outcome of a system of smart decisions, leveraged effort, and an identity that is built for abundance, not for scarcity.
So, this all leaves the final question for you. If you were starting today with $0 in your pocket, what is the one skill you would lead with? And more importantly, what single action will you take in the next 24 hours to begin creating value with it? Let us know your answer in the comments below.